this word's used in the Quran for, we have this word as well, and with al it becomes mar. Allah says in the Quran, yawma yafirru mar'u min akhihi wa ummihi. We know these words. That one I'm not sure if we've done it. Ummihi wa abi. Sorry. Ummihi wa abi. Okay. So mar, there it is. The root of this word actually means, it's weird because we've got another word that comes from this root, mari'. Mari' means something's easy to swallow. Okay. But it means, the general meaning of this is someone who's refined. They've got high qualities and noble qualities. They're like ethics and morals. Okay. So that's the general meaning of this. So al-mar' it says the day on which the mar' will flee from his brother and his mother and his father. There's two very similar verses in the Quran, and they have different orders. And there's a particular reason for that. Okay, I haven't got time to go into that, but that's something, like when you see a list of things in the Quran, you see another verse that's very similar, but you'll notice sometimes there's a difference, a slight difference. There's a reason behind that. There's a context. You have to look at what's being expressed here. Now, so usually this is translated as the day on which a man will flee from his brother and his mother and his father. But doesn't mean a man. That means a man of high ethics and morals. So usually if you think about if there's a disaster or there's an emergency in this world, like just think the Titanic. When they were getting the people into the boats, what do they say first to the people? Huh? Women and children first. So even when we're in very dire straits, we still have this sort of ethics and morals. It's like, no, we have, everyone, you'd think everyone would be thinking about themselves, but we say no, women and children first. But on the day of judgment, you ain't even thinking about that. It's every man for himself. Even people who have high ethics and morals will not even. So that's why that word's used here, okay? Why is al-mar'a, ethics and morals? This is my own little thing, give it or take it or leave it. Is that generally, if you look at socially, this is a fact, socially, women are more expected to have higher ethics and morals. Like, for example, you can say if a young lad's playing about and going out at night and not doing bad things, we say, he's just one of the lads, don't we? But would we accept it from one of our girls? Oh, no. One of the girls going out at night, she'd be completely, her reputation would be completely ruined, wouldn't it?
I don't think I'd accept it for the same.
No, I know, but I'm just talking about, you know what I mean? Yeah. Is that basically boys get away, it's true, because I hear it in the madrasa when I was teaching the madrasa, all the girls will say, my brothers, they're allowed to do this, this, and this, and this, and I'm not allowed to do this, this, and this, and this. Okay?
So just, like you have different words for men in Arabic, say a rajul.
Yeah.
Is there something for a woman as well that isn't mar'a?
Not that I'm aware of, in the Quranically.
Where's the
Well, that's really weird that it's got a completely different form, the plural. Now we've got untha, but that's to do with gender. That's male and female. Okay. Nisa means the plural, and what Amal's talking about here is that it's a completely different. I mean, this word's so irregular. It's like this when it's indefinite. It's like this when it's definite, and then it's got a completely different form. Nisa comes from the same root as insan. Okay, so does it mean forgetful? Does it mean she delays? She takes half an hour to get out of the house. I don't know. I don't think they thought like that. Did women do that way back then? I don't know. But what's the root meaning of that? There's a lot of questions. I've got that in the word patterns. I sent them out today, the word patterns, so you can have a look at that. It's interesting. But that's the first point, is that a woman a woman won't do certain things that a man will do. Okay, women generally have a bit more dignity than men. Okay, yes, I think that's pretty standard. Yeah, I think that's acceptable. But what's really interesting in the Quran, this is something really interesting, is that sometimes Allah uses Zawj for a wife, and sometimes He uses Mar'a. This is something to pick up in the Quran. And one of the clearest, strangest examples is when Zakaria is praying for an offspring. Yeah, alayhi salam. It says, first of all, it mentions his wife as Imra'. Then, once he gets his child, she's mentioned as Zawj. Okay? Even though they mean the same thing. Like in Arabic, you say she's my woman. In Moroccan dialect, you say Hada Marati. Hadi Marati. This is my woman. That's how it's used. Okay? Now, what they say in the Quranic, this is purely Quranic, is that when there's discord between the husband and wife, it refers to them as Mar. Mar is the focus on her as an individual. So when we say Zawj, there's reciprocity between the two. There's equilibrium. Because when you're saying a Zawj, it's a pair of one of a pair, isn't it? There's equality between the two. There's harmony between the two. But when there's not harmony between the two in the Quran, the husband and the wife, it will use mar'a, and the focus is that she's an individual now. As if there's more focus. So we've got some clear examples. So Zakaria, obviously he wanted a child, and his wife hasn't given us a child. Like in traditional societies, if there's no child, who do you blame it on? The woman, yeah, isn't it? So he goes and gets another wife and then he finds out he was the one with the issue, and I hear these stories in our community. Yeah. Okay, so there's discord. There's naturally, isn't it? Like we want children, and there's discord between one can't have it. The wife's not giving the child, so there's discord. So Allah uses Imra'a there. As soon as He's blessed with a child, she's named his Zawj. Now there's harmony again. That's one example. Okay, another one. We have Imra'atun Fir'aun, yeah, and Imra'atun Nuh. The wife of Nuh and the wife of Fir'aun. Why does it use Imra'a there? There's discord. Asiyah was a believer, Fir'aun wasn't. Yeah, the wife of Nuh was a disbeliever, while he wasn't. That's another example. Okay, there's where it says if a husband fears from his wife that she's recalcitrant, which means she's naughty basically. She's like kicking him out of the house and saying get to, and being all sort of stubborn. It names her as Imra'a here, not Zawj, because there's discord between the two. Okay. When there's dispute in the family, you always see Imra'a. However, the woman that's the widow, it uses Zawj because she didn't kill him. You know, it's just maybe, who knows. But there's Zawj because it's not that they left on back. Does that make sense? So always, and then we've got the famous, everyone's familiar with the verse, Tabbat yada abi lahabin wa tab, yeah. Wamra'atuhu hammalat al-hatab. She's disobedient. Like they're both disobedient in this case. There's no. You could say, well, why is it not Zawj? Because there's a chord, but it's a negative meaning. Yeah. There's a negativity about the context there. So the negativity can either be there's just dispute between them, so it's not, and then or that she's wicked. Okay. Yeah. So there's just discord between the two of them, or that she's wicked as well. Okay. Whenever there's in a positive light and there's equilibrium between them, it's always Zawj. We always see the Prophet ﷺ's wives as Zawjun Nabi. Yeah. Because it's calling them to have equilibrium. Even when there's a dispute, it still names them as Zawj because it wants them to have accord, it's like inviting them back to be in peace with the Prophet ﷺ. So that's something to notice. Okay, this is very beautiful.